Hi, and welcome back to Odoo. Since I'm becoming more used to manufacturing processes, I would like to enhance the flow of information inside of my company. Stealthy Wood is destined to grow, so I want to be sure I establish a good communication process for my future teams. To do so, I will use Odoo's ECO feature, or rather, Engineering Change Order feature. When my company will be big enough to have new employees, this part of the process will be the responsibility of the manufacturing engineering team. But for now, I'll do it myself. An ECO is a document that outlines the proposed changes to the product or parts that would be affected by the change. In other words, it's a central information hub for everyone associated with a given product. I will set one up because it will be useful in the future and will serve as a process to streamline product development and help me improve my products. Of course, everyone can have their own ECO type, and it's possible to have several for one company, but in my case, I will only have one because I would like to simply change my table legs to some that are more durable. Here is what I imagine for my ECO process, with two possibilities to reject or rework the improvement and a couple of moments where it can be approved or not. So let's see how this looks in my Odoo database. All right, here I am on my database for my company, Stealthy Wood. Let's go ahead and jump into our PLM application, then go to Configuration, ECO Types, and create a new one by clicking on the Create button. So of course I need a name. I'm going to call this Table Revision. I can even add an email alias if I would like to. I don't need one for my business, but just know that you do have that option right there for you. So let's go ahead and save this. And then we're going to go to our overview. So here we're going to see all of our ECO types. So I've only created the one, so that's all I see. But if you have multiple, you'll see all of them right here. So let's go ahead and enter this ECO type that I just created and add some columns. All right, so the first one I'll call new, and then I'll say in progress, validated, effective, and finally rejected. Okay, because of course I also want to keep track of all of the proposed changes that I have rejected as well. However, I don't need to see that all the time, so I'm simply going to click on the little settings icon and fold this in the view. All right, so it makes things look just a little bit neater. So now that we have all of our columns set up, let's go ahead and modify the stages and add some places where approvals need to be done or actions need to be made. So I'm going to go to my first stage, click on the little settings icon, go to edit stage and add an approval here. So I'm going to say acknowledge demand, which needs to be done by the admin. And I can even add an approval type. So I can say that it's optional. I can say it's required, or perhaps this is only for comments. So I'm going to select that comments only type and go ahead and save this. And then we can move to the next stage in progress, edit this one as well. I'm just going to say here we need to have a simple approval, which of course needs to be done by our admin. And this time it is required before it can move on to the next stage. So let's save this. Then we'll go to our validated stage. We're going to say that the final approval will be done here by our admin, and it is also required. But not only that, at this stage, we can also apply some changes. So I'm going to specify that right here by clicking on this and saving. Then finally, our effective stage is going to be our final stage. And I'm not going to add an approval here because as we just saw, the final approval will be done in the validated stage. So here, I'm just going to select this option, save, and now we can go ahead and propose a change and see what happens when we go through the whole process. So let's click on create. Of course, we're going to need a short summary for this proposed revision or change. I'm going to call this replace table legs. Okay. I can say that this applies on the product only, the bill of material, the routing, or the BOM and the routing. So let's go ahead and choose bill of material. Okay. And I need my product. In this case, it will be my make to order table. Since I already have a bill of material that's linked to this product, it is automatically populated here in the bill of materials field. I can even specify the responsible, and I can also say when this will be effective. So as soon as possible or at a specific date. So if I select the second option, I have a new field where I can actually choose the specific date. Right here. But in this case, I'm going to say as soon as possible. And I can also add tags if I would like to. So let's go ahead and save this. All right, and start the new revision. So since I am the admin, I'm going to check this out. I'm going to make a comment that says, looks good. I'll log that right here and then move it to the next stage. So saying, yeah, I do think we need to make this change. We need to replace the table legs. So let's go ahead and make that in progress. All right, so as you can see, I manually moved the stage right here from inside of the proposed change. But if we go to our main view, I can simply drag and drop. All right, so now that we're here in the in progress stage, as we saw before, I do need to approve this and it is mandatory, okay? So I will not be able to move it to the validated stage unless I first approve it, okay? If I try to do that, I'll have a warning message pop up saying, hey, you can't move this yet. It needs to be approved by the right person. So let's go ahead and approve this, saying, all right, let's move forward with this, this proposed change to replace the table legs. This needs to happen. Now, something else I want to point out here, which we do also see in the new stage and all of the other stages as well, is this Bill of Materials revision 2. So this means that we are working on a duplicate of the original bill of materials, okay? So this is just a proposed revision. Now I'm going to talk about that more in just a second, but first we're going to go to the validated stage, okay? And we're going to make some changes here. So I have approved this. I'm changing the stage. And since we can apply some changes, we have this new button here that says apply changes. Of course, I need to approve this before I can go ahead and apply changes. And I also need to suggest some changes on my new revision as well. So I'm going to do that by entering the bill of material and editing. Okay, so let's go ahead and say new table leg instead of table leg and save this. And of course, if we go to miscellaneous, we see that we are working on that second version. Okay, so by having this version feature and duplicating the old one when working on the new one, Odoo avoids problems like EBOM and MBOM overlay. Okay, so doing so, I will only modify the one BOM at the time. Okay, so this avoids manufacturing operators from juggling several different BOMs at the same time. And I think Odoo is the only software that has this feature, this possibility. So that's really cool. So let's go ahead and go back a step, okay? Because we did make that proposed change, as we see right here, the new table leg. And I can go ahead and approve this since I'm the admin. And then we can apply the changes to the whole process. So I can say that this is the BOM that we're now going to use. So once I click on that button, we will see the change go from validated to the final stage of effective. So I'm going to click on that button right here, and it automatically changes the stage. So let's go back. We see that change right here. So now if we go to our manufacturing application and then go to that bill of materials, so go to our MTO, it automatically applies here as well. So how convenient is that? It makes the whole process really simple if we need to make some revisions or changes to an already existing bill of material, product, or route. And that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.